the boss-employee relationship is like a marriage. And we need to communicate, we need to understand, we need to make sure that we pick up each other's slack. We have to understand that there's gonna be good times, there's gonna be bad times, that there's gonna be greatness, and there's gonna be fast-paced, there's gonna be slow-paced. There's gonna be time when they're your kids or your employees or your coworkers, and there's gonna be other times that they're mine. You ever hear that when you're, as a husband or wife, hey, your kids did this, or oh, here come your kids. Hey, welcome to the Relevant Development Podcast. I am your host, Juan Alvarado. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am on assignment if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple, I'm on location with my son. He's not here with me right now, but he is at a basketball tournament. No, I'm on location today in Tehachapi, California. It's windy, so excuse the wind. If you can hear the wind, it is pretty windy. Somebody said that there's 15 to 20, even as fast as 25 miles an hour by a busy street. And there's a railroad station right behind me. So it might get noisy, so forgive me. I'll try to fix that on post-production. But I just want to make, this is one of those episodes where I want to speak to you as you are going to work, or maybe you're taking a break at work, something that's quick, 5 to 10 minutes to get you focused on this week. And what I want you to focus on this week is, do you want the ideal boss? And do you want the ideal employee? I think a lot of us, we want to have a really good boss. I think a lot of us have had a good boss. Those people who have not had a good boss, I apologize. There should be good bosses out there. On the flip side, I think a lot of bosses want to have a really good employee. And bosses that have not had a good employee, my apologies. We need to be able to have really good employees. I want you to take a second to think about this. When we work, no matter a boss or employee, that is a marriage, right? The dating phase is the application process, the interview process, the first 30, 60, 90-day period to see if we get through that, right? If you do a good job, we'll keep you. If not, here you go and you're on your way, right? But if we want the ideal employee, are we the ideal boss? And as an employee, if we want the ideal boss, are we being that ideal employee? See, we can't expect to get out what we're not willing to put in. Like if we're a boss and we want our staff to be excited and happy and joyful and to be problem solvers and to show up early and stay late and do all this stuff, are we as those bosses doing those same things? You can't get upset at the result you didn't get for the work that you didn't do. Right? We all want this expectation. We all have this expectation, but are we putting in the work? I have this note here on my phone that reads, if we want the ideal boss, are we the ideal employee, and vice versa? But it says it's just like a marriage, in sickness and health, and richer or for poor. It's a marriage. The boss-employee relationship is like a marriage. And we need to communicate, we need to understand, we need to make sure that we pick up each other's slack. We have to understand that there's going to be good times, there's going to be bad times, that there's going to be greatness, and there's going to be fast-paced, there's going to be slow-paced. There's going to be time when they're your kids or your employees or your coworkers, and there's going to be other times that they're mine. You ever hear that when you're, as a husband or wife, hey, your kids did this, or oh, here come your kids. You don't want to claim them when they're great, you want to disown them when they're bad. But if we know what it takes, are we prepared to how to handle it? And that focus must be our goal. In another podcast episode, either it's come out already or it's going to be a future podcast. I don't know in what succession I'm going to post these in, but I talk about confrontation and how we need to confront confrontation and confront. I heard from two different people, Tim Ross and Jeremy Anderson, that they say that we have to face forward together the problem. So the other day, I asked my boys to do a couple of chores around the house. Came back 7 hours later, was not done. I was upset. They were grounded, got phones taken away, and they got this, and that taken away, and couldn't go here, couldn't go there. But I had to make sure that, even though I was frustrated, I was angry, I'm not mad at the person, I'm mad at the situation, because deep down inside, that's what it is. And so my question to you is, when you're upset at your boss or your employee, are we confronting it? Is it you and the other person facing the actual problem? What I mean by that is, it's not me versus my son or my sons. It's actually, hey, you and I need to be on one side, and we need to look at and confront the lack of disrespect, because that's where I'm upset. I'm not mad at my kid necessarily. It is, what do I feel? I feel angry. Why? And what does that anger make me feel? Well, angry. Well, also frustrated. But where is that? Why? I am frustrated because they didn't listen to me. Well, what do I assimilate not listening to me? Disrespect, not hearing me. I'm trying to help them out. So, next week they're going to want money. And so I'm upset at the misunderstanding. I'm upset at the lack of respect. And where does that stem from? And I get into it into that other episode. But what I really want to kind of bring home here is it's myself and my son looking forward, facing forward the problem. He has to understand what I deem respectful, what I deem to understand. I have to set the standard, and he needs to understand that. I have him repeat that and things like that. So when we go to work today, and if we're setting up knowing that, yes, for good or for bad, for rich or for poor, I'm setting myself to understand, yes, there'll be good times, but when there's bad times, I have to be able to have a game plan moving forward. So today I want you to have a game plan through whatever issues you have today or this week. I need to understand the word confront or confrontation, that it's me and the staff member or me and my boss looking at the actual problem and not the person. It's the person is more valuable than the problem, right? So we need to be on the same side and the same page, looking at the problem. On top of that, what I was saying in the beginning, if we want to have the ideal staff, then are we the ideal boss? And if we want the ideal boss, are we that ideal staff? Let's start putting in the work today to be the person who we want in front of us to lead us. We need to